with the four vampire friends that will accompany you. Or maybe friends, maybe calling them friends is a bit too much.
Acquaintances.
Merciful gods.
Hmm? No, wait, you're leaving with three vampires, right?
Martinella, Martino,
Martino?
and Donato.
Yeah, okay, alright. Okay. So as you're leaving with the three vampires, you feel a sense of apprehension and courage coming from the three of them. There is something that they feel in the air, a sense of lack of comfort, and like they are perhaps for the first time in an incredibly long time taking a step outside of their little room, even though they have been in this enormous castle for as long as they can remember. Martino shudders in fear of this, but takes his final step, convinced that this will lead him to greatest freedom. Whilst Donado, armed to the teeth with an armor, with a sort of strangely prismatic armor that covers him from head to toe, blocking every touch of sunlight from hitting his skin, stands ready to fight whatever demons may appear to achieve his pride. Martinella faces the potential sun without basically any special armor. She has her leathers, but other than that, even her arms are clearly visible and clearly exposed to the sun. She only has with her her enormous blade, and it seems that at the hilt of it there is an eye that stares rapidly towards all of her new-found friends. Perhaps it is alive. And something is unsettling about, and you feel this cold rising up through your spine whenever the eye locks contact with yours.
So it is like a third eye on her forehead, or is it a peering
On her
eye?
sword. On her sword.
Oh, oh.
Of course,
Alright.
they brought the crew factor with them.
Yeah, of course they did. You thought you'd get away from the uncomfortable mist, but we glued it onto us.
Dorado stands like almost like an armored golem. His armor seems to be completely impenetrable, but it is incredibly slow, and every step that he takes is almost like you hear the mechanical whirls and then this enormously heavy stomp as it crushes whatever earth was underneath him. This will not be a silent party.
Yeah, well, maybe we should find a place to be at for some time. Figure out what's first and what's second.
The base of operations.
Yeah, most preferably one where light doesn't shine too much. Nothing holy. So maybe not the tree, not Uxifon's garden.
Those both have an abundance of light. Perhaps, are there any caves or anything nearby that we can...
What about the druid thing
Oh yeah.
Martino,
where we
Martino
met
says,
Goro?
perhaps we could invite Cecilia to come with us. I'm sure that she could unholy any sort of holy site.
Oh yeah, but that's not how we roll, you know, she tried to kill us. And I look at Martinella and kill Martinella too.
Martinello just shrugs. She's not convinced that that was the case. Martino says, well, but... Okay, well, This is just very new to me. I'll stop talking now. And he starts playing this. This it's almost a bit haunting. The melody that he starts playing on his harp. It sort of begs other of his instruments that he is binging, begs them to come alive and start playing as well. It is a slow, eerie tune, and he seems to do that mostly to calm himself.
So, I turn to walk a bit next to Martinella. You came along because you want to find this place, right? The place where he found the armor of your husband.
Yes, I'm willing to stand the presence of this paladin of yours. I want to find what happened to my husband, remember and avenge him if need be. I also tired of Cecilia's schemes and I needed this heir.
So once you find the remains and you give him a proper goodbye, a burial, what's next?
I will bring the remains of my husband here.
All right.
Bury him here. And maybe by the time that I return, probably make up my mind to crush Cecilia's skull. Or maybe cleave her in half. I'm not certain about that.
For the record, I'm okay with this plan.
I mean, Martinella, one hand watches the other. If you find the remains, you let our paladin live with the armor on. That was, right, the agreement?
I already tolerate him with his armor on. So
what if we could help you in a way where you can hear from your dead husband talking to him while he's dead about what happened to him and who did that? Good chance that'll set you on the right path for revenge or give you the closure you need.
I don't think I need closure. I'm not doing this for closure. I'm doing this because I want to. And I'm doing this because I want to avenge my husband. There are too many lies being said inside of the keep.
That's true.
And now that I see you wearing my husband's armor, perhaps I can go to his tomb, speak with him directly. That was what your mage told me could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Once I have done that, I will return and avenge his killer if the killer is still alive, or just bring the body and bury him here with us. He deserves a proper place to rest.
I turn towards Mist. And so you just don't remember where it was, right?
Well, it's almost as if it was hiding itself. Because once I left the cave, I searched for it for a while, and it's just not there. So it's almost as if it was magically hidden.
Martinella growls. Convenient. And then she sniffs the air, her nose turning slightly wolfish. turning slightly wolvish into a snout, and says, "But it will make a good hunt, I suppose."
Yeah, and don't forget, he did find it while he was escaping, so he was running for days straight, and that would have probably drained him, make him delirious.
Well, I've already been convinced to come with you. I'm already outside of the grounds. Let the sun come up. I am ready for it.
Well, I don't want to speak for the group, but that sounds like a good idea. The only question is where.
Martinella says, No scent can escape me. If we get within a few miles of the place. Lead us to where you thought it was. And perhaps. And from there I will find it quickly.
Well, let's see. Can you put
Donato
us on the map?
It's into
Yeah.
Yuan-Ti territory.
Donato intervenes and says, "Why should she take priority in this matter? I have my own business to attend to, my own quest that I would like to fulfill."
Yeah, don't worry. You were totally in my mind as I was going on the priority list. I just needed to clarify everyone's intention, but I knew yours. Trust me, my friend. While we are on our way there, we will be able to easily get down to this harvesting and using saltpeter and make gunpowder.
Donato takes from his back what seems to be an upgraded version of the arquebus that you gave him. It seems to be the whole thing charged with lightning, with lightning, frost, and fire. As if there is an almost circular loop that goes around it that has been carved incredibly finely with magical runes and magic in general. He says, "I am eager to test this one out."
Well, we should definitely try hunting for our dinner tonight. What do you guys think? Only a few of us would need to go, I feel like. I look at Martino. You don't have to, you know.
Martino just starts playing his lute more intensely, and all of the instruments almost cower before the thought of him needing to go hunt by himself. He says, "Well, I am certainly able to, but I would rather stay in the back and inspire you to go. You are more than capable adventurers.
That's why I made this suggestion. Don't worry, Martino. Let's have a look at the map, everyone. Who carries the map? Who carries the map? Who of us has it? I don't have it. Is it Miro?
I think so.
I think it's Miru because she has the highest survival.
Mm-hmm.
So Miru pulls out the map and starts looking at it. And Martinella points out, "We are now surrounded by the savannah. It will be difficult to cross it by day, but possible. I can handle it, I'm sure."
I look at my clock. What time is it?
You look at your clock, and the clock says that it is 10:30 in the morning. But the clouds that surround you are incredibly dark and thick, and you still have to go through an entire, both a forest, first of impaled bodies, and then of dead trees to actually leave. That should take you around 1 hour for you to reach the savannah itself, the savannah proper.
I mean, Klaatu could just teleport us. And looking at the map, the further to here where I pin, the further the more it is Yuan-Ti territory, right?
Yes, blue is Yuan-Ti.
And I look at Mist. Do you roughly remember from where you ran? Where was your last mission? Where were you stationed?
Is Genesta on the map? Mateus?
I'm sorry, miss? This is totally up to you.
Oh.
You can also say that you don't remember, which could also make sense, because you didn't have a map.
You would knew the name of the places he was at because he was high state ranking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I spent the majority of my time in the village of Genesta.
Genosta?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's my hometown. I'm not sure if it's on this map. I've very seldom have I seen a map in this format. The ones that I've seen have been far more detailed.
Well, you know that Genesta is near the river, and it, it is likely. It is likely that it is along one side, one of these islands. It could be much in a safer location if you go upriver this way, but you know that the river goes this way. This way, this fork of the river is more like plant and fungus territory.
Yeah, it's definitely up that river. I think it may be beyond where we have discovered.
Yeah, just teleporting into unknown territory could be dangerous. I don't suggest it. So the furthest point we could go is the Druid's Temple and make our way from there. Or the Duchess domain. But appearing at the Duchess domain with 3 more undead, sorry guys,
The Duchess
might not be the best idea.
Yeah, the Duchess will not let us through.
Honeystoke?
Oh, that's way the other direction.
It's a bit far away, isn't it?
I think the Druid Temple's probably our best bet. And then make our way,
Up.
yeah, up and west from there.
Right. Everyone, gather around. Batu, whenever you're ready.
Plato calls everyone to gather around and prepares his teleport spell. He asks if you are sure about this.
Are you sure?
Plato responds that Klaatu responds with a sort of half-sure shrug. And he says, as sure as I can be.
Guess it won't get any better then.
My sentiments exactly.
Alright then, and the teleport then engaged with a D100. Alright, okay.
Wow, is that good or bad?
Oh, but we've been there.
4 is bad.
Oh,
4 is
yeah.
bad. Okay, so, alright, everyone takes 3d10 points of force damage, and there is a mishap, and this rolls again. Okay. Alright, so everyone suffers 11 points of damage, and then the second one is a 31. I would say that you are very familiar with the Druid Temple, and that achieves the location. Okay. So, first, the first teleport, you actually end up being teleported to some place where you just feel this incredible crushing weight on you, and you understand suddenly from a strange inability uh, to breathe that you were deeply underwater. You see only the vaults, the shadows of creatures in the distance, illuminated by a strange sort of bioluminescent light, look at you and immediately dart to eat you all. Enormous creatures that seem to be made out of pure flesh and thunder. Pure flesh and lightning living in the bottom of the deep, and immediately you teleport again, collapsing upon yourselves and bringing your drenched bodies up to the Druid Temple.
Whoa.
You have arrived. Martino,
That was pretty awesome.
Martino coughs out a puddle of water and immediately starts aggressively playing his harp, the instruments following suit, trying to make a melody out of that almost traumatic experience.
As Justin gurgles up water, he looks at Martino and goes, "Oh, that only will attract the spiders."
Martino stops. Spiders? What spiders?
The spiders behind the door. Justin points at the door.
Okay. Martinella looks.
We are
for
in the
and
middle of
says-
where we chilled out the most, right?
Martinella takes out her sword and says, "Let the spiders come, I don't fear them."
No. They're locked behind the door, but they keep gnawing at it the more we do stuff out here. They want to get out, you know. Spiders.
Disappointed, she puts her sword back in her sheath.
Well, they do have a history with Goro. This whole place does. Maybe you know it.
Goro, this place?
Mm-hmm. He was the one who tricked the spiders. That's why they're locked in there.
The morning sun seems to burn Martinella's skin, and you do see how it basically chars off, but her regenerative abilities seem to be able to almost effectively counteract it, effectively only dyeing her whole arm, her whole skin in an incredibly black color. Even her eyes become a fierce blood red as she withstands this clear pain.
Oh.
But she seems unfazed.
Oh, well, we should head maybe inside the cave and hunt the spiders then, because you are looking bad.
Martinella says, "I am not bothered."
Oh, alright.
This is only It only slightly burns the skin. Martino has immediately already has found cover and created a strange sort of portable, portable tiny hut that surrounds him in opaque colors, almost like an incredibly fanciful and deeply magical umbrella.
Is it a spell?
It is a spell.
Nice. Oh, that's pretty useful there, Martino. So, this temple has some shadows, some shadowy places, right?
Donato says from deep inside of his armor, we'll find the shadows. Here. The temple itself actually has only a center area that has sunlight directly hitting it. Everything else is covered by these enormous trees that surround the entire place. This has clearly been invaded by the jungle itself. But however, as Donado makes his rounds kind of scouting around the area, there is a sense, and Mist, you feel this more keenly than anyone else, that the forest itself seems to shrivel a bit in a sort of, perhaps not fear, but a being warded off of these unholy creatures. Almost as if they were walking anti-fertilizers, or almost like a disease.
Poison?
No, that's not pleasant.
I would like to investigate it. I'll take
Okay,
out my
right.
magnifying glass.
Make a nature check.
Oh, ah! I've no idea.
Even with your magnifying glass, you have no idea. As you approach a plant, all you see is that it projects a stinger right up to your eye and just clearly stabs into it. The
Oh!
plant itself then retracts, almost hiding along the rest of its family.
Oh, shit. I, out of reflex, jump back and draw the canopic edge. Ow! Oh! Hit my eye! I think it's
Mist,
sentient.
get the feeling that you are making the jungle itself be hostile to you, and that this is not a good idea.
I'm thinking we should probably make our way out of here.
Yeah, this plane burned. Oh, this place is burned. Fucking hell. Maybe let's just walk in the forest in the north direction. We wanted to go there anyway. Stay away from those weird-looking plants. They stab you.
Well, mind your own business. Maybe they won't stab you.
I am a scientist on a mission to investigate this continent. It's like, say, you went to someone talking about them, and that happened before how great Melora is, and they stab you.
Yeah,
Hypocrite.
by the way, that's quite likely to happen the further north we go here, or further, closer to Yanti territory we go.
I guess then we all get used to it. Backstabbing forests. Backstabbing followers of Melora. We're prepared.
Hey,
That didn't mean you. Well, and I fall back to Donato and look at him and say, as soon as it gets dark and we can proceed, don't you think?
Donado says, I'm fine proceeding in my armor, but I'm not sure about the more sensitive ones. And he just unashamedly just points towards Martino. Martino
Well, yeah.
notices and says, I think this can protect me. We can try to walk during the day, but if there is jungle, then we'll be protected from sunlight that way.
Yeah, and it's going to be mostly jungle, I feel like. Donato, what did you do to your arquebus? It looks fantastic, and my detect magic is on, so what did he do?
He has clearly put some very intense evocation magic within it. There are multiple... He has clearly used up most of his reserves of probably gnolls to prep up this arquebus. And it is very powerful.
Or is it powerful shots or repetitive shots or?
It seems to be a powerful shot. It needs to be reloaded one shot at a time, though. So it is still something that is a bit cumbersome, but he wears it almost like if it were some sort of battle cannon. The arquebus itself is significantly wider. It's like a huge hand cannon.
Oh, did you craft the ammo yourself?
Donado says, of course I did," and he shows you one of it. It glows, especially to you, with this intense evocation power. You feel almost as if it has a heart within this lead ball, a heart of a fireball within it.
Oh, that's interesting. I am working on a similar idea, not based on magic.
Well, I'll use what I know until I know no more. Until this does not work.
Yeah, definitely. You're a master. I can sense that. Good work there.
Martinella approaches one of the trees on the way and says, "We're going this way?" When Miru responds with a nod, she takes out her great sword and simply cuts one of these enormous trees in two. It falls off to the side and she says triumphantly, "We make a path."
Why? You should not cause a ruckus.
I mean, we're not quiet anyway, really.
Oh, but cutting the forest down is going to make the forest angry.
That's
The
true.
forest spawns with a shriveled pain, and again, Mist, you feel almost a certain amount of guilt as you have brought these deeply unholy forces to this special garden of Melora.
So Martinella, fall behind.
Martinello, I'm gonna have to ask you not to do that. I mean, I understand that you're great, you're powerful, you're an amazing warrior and all that, but senseless destruction serves no purpose.
Especially here. Like, I got stabbed in the eye just for getting close to the fucking trees. And you're cutting it down. Going to have repercussions. You won't get what you want that way. Just try to get along. I mean, it's a difficult path, but it's not that hard for every one of us.
Martinella says, "Why not? I just make a hole in it. Make a tunnel.
Yeah, but
Plus,
then...
You can heal. Your eye is growing back as we speak. And if the trees shoot me with those darts, It can't hurt me. It can't hurt me at all.
Yeah, but if we die, you lose your way, because we can be hurt. Martinella, it's not going to make us go faster either. Look how much time it's going to cost. If we just walk, we'll be faster.
Very well, but how do you expect Donado's armor to go through those tiny places? He will also wreck a whole field.
I look at Donato and say, oh, a master like him is capable. And as soon as any one of you feels like taking a break, getting out of armor, chilling in the shadow, just say the word. We're not in a hurry, because we're set on a path. And once the night falls, we'll be even faster and stronger, so that's fine also.
Very well. Very well, very well. Martino says, well, I can make us all much stealthier if you would prefer, but I'm not sure I'm not sure if I can truly work with this.
Do I pick up any weird surroundings with my passive perception of 25?
It's definitely the case that you are gathering attention and attention of kind of hostile forces. You feel more that the more you destroy of this forest, the harder it will be to convince the plant queen that you're actually friends.
Yeah, technically we didn't, but we helped doing it. Yeah, so I try to pick up the pace and be in the front to lead a easy path together with Miru, so that she knows that we need an easy path.
Miru will, without even that much effort, know almost instinctively what is the best path. Where exactly are you going? Are you going straight to the north, or are you going more for Gamri's village?
I thought it would be something like this,
Okay.
like really going straight north.
Okay.
But if we get close to here and we see something, only 600, 500 meters, then we might. So that would be a good point. Yeah. What do you say, guys? We've been looking at the map together.
I think that's good.
You could make an argument for we said that we wanted to go to the river, so that would be a good route also. But I thought it was really, let's go straight north.
Should be fine, right?
Mist, you know that Gamri's village must be that one human village that you see. And the sense of guilt is still present in you. Where she had died to protect you all, and in a way, you had abandoned her.
At some point, I would like to make a trip to that village. I'm assuming it's from the description that Gamma gave and the location of that dot. I think we should go to that. And I'm assuming that's the Amri's village there. So,
Are you sure you want to lead the vampires to the humans?
yeah, I'm a little hesitant about that.
Yeah, they'll be getting hungry.
So I'm thinking maybe return trip,
Yeah, maybe return. Yeah,
side
yeah,
trip at some point.
yeah. Maybe return trip. So there was a landmark somewhere on the way north, Mist. If we could hit that, maybe we'll be able to teleport closer to the village next time.
Okay.
All right.
Hmm.
And also
Oh.
there's something else you should know. Let's walk next to Oroba as well.
Okay.
The three vampires, with each of their steps, the jungle itself, the forest itself, shudders and withers away, retreating from this specific location. But as you go north, you start feeling, and you especially, Justin, hear a certain familiar buzzing.
No.
You are being watched.
E.
Of course we are.
Nothing really dares approach you. But you do know that you are being watched
Yeah, I'm
by
sending out
something
murderous intent.
that is not of plant origin. And it reminds you more of the wasp emissaries.
Mm-hmm. The ones that got stuck in the head of one of us. Or some of us. Ah, shit, we made a deal with them, I can't remember. Yeah, I send out murderous intent in those directions.
Okay, alright.
To just keep them there.
Okay. They keep their distance. They don't know what these three new creatures that accompany your band are, or really what they can do. The forest itself doesn't really, and you feel like you are being watched by almost by the entirety of the forest if it could. Even the ants underground you keep a watchful distance as you pass by. A watchful and fearful distance. But as you approach, you find that the jungle starts again. As hours go by and you walk closer to this landmark, you experience that the jungle itself starts to becoming significantly thicker. It starts to becoming harder to pass through. Martinella becomes much more impatient, wanting to just carve through the forest. But instead of the forest withering, there is a transformation of the of all of the flora into spikes and just hostile trap terrain. Whole place, it feels as if you are entering or passing through the outer wall of some sort of fortified outpost.
Does it look insectoid?
It does not look insectoid, it's all plants, and the plants do seem sentient. All of them, you recognize as well, seem to be trying to arm themselves in specific ways to try to counter you. They see how exactly you are acting, and in response, prepare spikes with poisons and different sorts of hostile concoctions. Or about you can't help but find this incredibly fascinating. How one can change, how the ingredients themselves of the jungle can change from one moment to another.
A metamorphosis.
Indeed. But this is a very curious metamorphosis. It is with the intent, or it exists with the intent of being hostile to you, of warding you away. When the forest gets particularly difficult to tread, Martinella again will say, "Why don't you just let me cut through this?"
I think that's not a good idea. This thing seems to be adapting.
Martinello, how would you feel if some greater being came through your forest or your home and cut it down just so it could walk past?
What greater being is there than me? Ha ha!
Deities?
I can cut through all of this. There is no way it can keep up with me.
You can, but do you need to?
Why does it matter? This
It
is on our way.
It matters to me. And obviously it matters to the forest.
Ah, you are weak for caring about lesser things. You should care only about yourself. Donato knows this at least, though I'm not sure even Martino does.
Yes, I care about lesser beings. And I ask that you care about this lesser being.
But now what? We can't force our way through this. We'll all get stabbed and envenomed by these things.
Okay, and this is like a wall of venomous brambles around this.
In this case, you seem to have reached just this wall.
How far does it spread to the left and right?
You can't really discern, just because right now you are surrounded, it's incredibly dark, and you have gotten yourselves into a specific path that, well, you can always try to go back, but the forest itself seems to want to keep you in this sort of labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can I create water and then shape it around the plants in front of me?
Sure, sure.
Both trying to water them and hopefully remove the toxins from the thorns.
Okay. Right. The toxins from the thorns seem to recede a little bit. But I will need you to make a wisdom check as you do this. Okay, alright. With a 24, the forests and its spikes seem to retract. Not in front of you, but closer to your side, almost unveiling a secret wall or a secret passage. It invites you, but the forest itself then seems to seek to almost close out, and you notice this very well, Justin. The forest seems to want to isolate you and Mist, or at least this specific part of it, this
Both
labyrinth.
of us.
It is inviting Mist to go to the right, but at each step that he takes, there is a certain closeness that the whole walls have.
Oh shit! If he goes
Flow,
in there, then
sure.
I'm then I'm alone with the vampires. Need to convince him to stay straight all the time. So I take Mist's hand and tell him to don't go there. We need to stay together and maybe teleport again, because this labyrinth is going to keep us here.
Something beckons you to go forward, Mist, and you feel as if there is a certain friendliness or an openness to you, and to you specifically, but a coldness and, again, a sharpness against everyone else. Perhaps this gesture has, in some ways, invited a diplomatic encounter.
Justin, give me a moment.
Are you very sure about that?
But you are invited alone.
All right, I look at Klaatu and ask him to put up the telepathic link.
Plato does so.
That'll be fine. I'm not sure there's anything else we're doing at the moment.
Sorry, what?
And once Klaatu puts up the link, I step through.
Okay, right. You step through and find on the other side an entire army ready to defend this place. It is composed of these creatures that you know before. The plantoid crushers, various warriors, even flying mantas, flying sort of strangely leaf mantas or stingrays with creatures on top of it. There is an entire army here, and you could have made it hostile. As you pass this wall, and this army that stands in front of you sees you, they open passage for this strange, almost fox-like creature holding a staff but made purely out of the greenery of the forest to speak with you. And this is... just put this over here and show you guys. This is it.
Ooh.
And this is the Keep Master.
Plant Fox.
Keep Master?
The Keep Master, yes.
Nice.
The Master of the Keep.
Fox plant fox.
Gives new meaning to the
Plant
term
Fox
Volpine.
approaches, the Plant Fox approaches you, Myth, and says, I am the master of this keep. What brings you to my domain? And why, with such foul creatures, do you desecrate the forest?
I bow deeply and say, greeting, Master of the Keep. My name is Mist, and we mean you no harm. We simply want to be able to pass by. Perhaps use this as a waypoint for future teleportations. And I kind of take a deep breath and say, foul ones in my company. Actually, we are attempting to redeem them. Well, most of them.
Creatures such as they cannot be redeemed, and you must know this. You feel it in your skin, their foul scent.
Oh, I very much do feel their presence, and I apologize for bringing them through here. But I promise you, we only wish to pass. We have no desire to... We have no desire for conflict.
You desire to pass, but also to use this as a beacon, as a way to teleport, you say. You intend to pass through here again, then.
Only
Who
momentarily.
has authorized you to go into the forest of the great queen that rules over us all? For you come from inside, do you not? That is the direction that you have taken, and you seek to leave her domain.
Yes, we are taking these foul creatures on a trip, expedition to the north to the river in an attempt to placate one and redeem another. And to be
And
honest,
the
I'm not sure what we're going to do with the third. Haven't quite figured that one out yet.
keep master raises her staff and shows you an image that appears framed almost like a mirror, framed by plants, but through it you can see all of the members of your party. All of them react in different ways, but it is primarily the three vampires that act in very hostile ways against these protruding spikes. Especially Donado, who, with his almost mechanical armor, is basically crushing one by one any spike that comes too near him.
Justin, stop them. Just get them to chill out.
Yeah. I have some words with them that I'll go, please, no. All right, let's get together and actually think of good ideas instead of cutting down plans.
Okay, make a persuasion check. Are you being helped? Oraba, do you help him?
Sure. If I can.
Okay.
I tried to explain like how dangerous they seem to be and how much I know about the plans.
Okay. All right. All right.
23.
With a decent persuasion, they seem to be partially convinced, and they stand down, controlling themselves. Martino is still aggressively playing on his lute, and he even sends it out to play by itself as he picks up a flute and starts playing it. The spikes themselves seem to be attempting to burst through this sort of protective bubble that he has put around himself, and he plays on in quite strong fear of it. Keepmaster says, "These creatures that accompany you are hardly tamed, and you seek to pass through my domain to reveal the core of this keep, the great seed to them, why we stand better armed to war you all here."
There is no need for conflict. That will only cause death and destruction on both sides. Because while I have absolutely no doubt that you will overcome the entire party, I promise you there will be many casualties on your side.
Make a persuasion check, miss.
And I don't want that to be the case. I suck at persuasion, man.
He says, "You carry evil company, but something about you compels us to trust you. You have a kind soul. You have watered our defenses instead of fighting them. What moves you that we may trust you?"
Are you asking my motives?
Your motives and an assurance that all will go well whilst you are here.
Again, my motive is to prevent the conflict between you and them. We are attempting to guide. Does he still have the window up?
Yes.
Okay. We are attempting to guide, and I'll point to Martinella, say, that one, to the remains of her former husband. In a peaceful attempt to make sure that he is laid to rest amongst those he loved. And then I'll point to Martino and say, this one, our party is attempting to redeem. Hopefully, bring him back from his, or keep him from the evil ways that he's been forced to live recently. He was not comfortable with the way he was living, and hopefully we can help him to live better. And then I'll point at Donato and say, like I said, I'm not really sure how we're handling that one at the moment. As far as assurances, unfortunately, I can't make you any assurances. They are a wild card. I will promise you that I will do everything in my power to keep them from being destructive. And if it comes down to it, if it does come down to conflict, I will fight them on your side, not their side. I am, first and foremost, a follower of Melora. And if it requires it, I have no qualms at destroying them, or with destroying them.
Who is this Melora that compels you to act in our defense against your company?
Melora is the goddess who birthed your queen.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Melora is the goddess who birthed your queen.
Our queen has always been. You say that there is a being greater than the queen herself?
The queen's mother. Though I understand they are estranged at the moment.
You still speak of much beauty with this queen. with the mother of the queen. But the queen has existed here for as long as there has been earth on this place. She is the one who has brought life to this unworthiest of clays. She is the one that birthed us all. Where was the mother of the queen, that you should speak so highly of her?
Watching from beyond the Great Gate.
Explain this great gate.
Okay, millennia ago. Let's see. First of all, we're using the Exandria pantheon. So are we following the Exandria?
Whatever pantheon you would prefer that Melora fits in. This is also like, or I guess more importantly, your telling of the story.
Okay, but are we following the whole destruction, gods of destruction, gods of light, war that they had many years ago or millennia ago and all that? Or
Well, note as well that you would have you would have the information that would more specifically been given to you by these like random followers. So understand that even your information might be limited. But yes, we can use that. Yes, there are gods of order and gods of chaos.
okay, millennia ago, the gods of destruction and the gods of light had a fallout. The gods of destruction were bound and imprisoned, and the gods of light were bound behind the great gates, unable to take direct action on this plane.
What do you need?
So this goddess that you worship is a goddess of destruction if she stands behind the great gate?
No, the gods of light are behind the great gate. The gods of destruction were bound and imprisoned. The gods of light are unable to, due to as a price for the ability to imprison the gods of destruction. The gods of light are bound behind the great gate, unable to take direct action on this plane. But they are able to act through their followers, such as myself.
So you worship someone who is bound to not be able to act in this world, only through you.
Correct.
Why not worship then someone who is directly part of this world, such as the Queen? The Queen is here, and she does not need these rules or the Great Gate to act. Is she then not better than her mother.
I can see how one might think that way, and in many ways that may be the case. But one of the how do I say this? One of the benefits of faith is that you can have faith in those you believe deserve it, of your choice, of your choosing.
We all choose every day to believe in the Queen and follow her will. We may always choose to not follow her will, but it is our choice to devote ourselves to she who is worthy of our praise. But you do not explain yet why this Queen Mother, why the mother of our Queen, compels you to act in such a different way than we have come to expect, holding here the keep against all sorts of flesh creatures.
Sorry, can you repeat that, Matthias?
Yeah. We do not understand why you are compelled to act in such a different way than we have come to expect from here fighting all of these flesh creatures that come from the other side of the keep. What you call humans and UNTs. Who is she, the queen, to you,
She's one to
that
be.
that she compels you to act in such a positive way?
She's one to be revered and looked up to, certainly. Honestly, we're just trying to do what's right here. There,
Not
there's.
all of you.
You're right. Not all of us, but I'm trying to make sure what we do is done with the least amount of carnage, destruction, and worst of all, death.
What makes you care about the death of plants? Answer this final motivation of yours, and I shall let you pass.
Plants are the purest form of beauty in this world, even when they are not the most beautiful. And I kind of gesture back towards the thorny brambles, and they deserve to be preserved. They are yeah, they're another life, just like any human or any other being. There's no reason they deserve to be preserved.
And this you say for yourself, or because your goddess tells you so?
Both.
And you would stand with us then, to pledge to stand with us against the unholy creatures should conflict arise?
If I need to, yes.
Come here a second.
Pledge it to us then. And she shows you her staff, points it towards you, and this great spike appears from the top. She says, "Let it pierce you and poison, and kill you if you break your pledge." Do you accept this?
That if it comes to conflict between plants and the 3 undead in our group, that I will fight on the side of the plants. Just to clarify.
Yes.
So long as the plants are not the aggressor.
We have no reason to be the aggressors here.
What'd she say?
Then yes. And I will reach out and touch the
Alright.
thorn, or the
Thorn,
staff.
thorn very easily pierces you, and you feel this rush of poison burn through you until it stops, laying dormant. The Keepmaster says, "With this pledge, then, we will open our gates to you. Do you expect merely to pass, or that we be hosts to you?"
Merely to pass. We have no desire to sully your lands any more than we need to.
I'm sorry. He's in there. I could probably do it, but he doesn't want me.
Then follow the path, and my guards will lead you on, and do not stray. You shall be in conflict with us, should you stray from the path.
Understood, and we thank you for your latitude. And again, I'll bow and make my way back out to Justin and the group.
Okay. The Keepmaster will also bow to you and say, "You are a brave creature of flesh, and we would wish you return to speak more of the mother of our queen."
I look forward to it.
She allows you passage, and you, everyone else in the party, sees as these thorns recede, and the labyrinth opens, leading you towards this center opening that then has this great, enormous tree, and the Keepmaster near it, as it twists and gnarls. the Keep Master being perfectly placed almost as a branch of this great and magnificent tree.
Look, it's like I said, we always manage mostly without violence and only respond with it in absolute necessary situations. And now we have a path. No one needed to get hurt, no.
Donato approaches Justin and whispers to him, "Think of the souls that we can drain should we burn this place."
Tell me I heard that.
I look at Donato very serious, and I put my serious face on intimidatingly. I try with a 12 to say back, not every soul here is meant for you to harvest or for me to have and be absorbed. Don't forget that. There's limits and realities that even we need to acknowledge, play by.
Mist, what you do see is as you return. I'm not sure if Justin is willing to share this through the mental link.
No, not right now. No.
What you do see, Mist, is Donato clearly in a sort of conspiratorial theme and very evidently pointing towards the big tree. He is not a subtle creature.
Can I just kind of make eye contact with either him or Justin and just deadpan look and just shake my head?
Okay, all right. Are you trying to be threatening?
No, just adamant.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I mouth a thank you.
Donato rescinds from this. Not exactly convinced, but willing to not make the situation any more difficult. He says, "I suppose it is both of our losses, but you insist on diplomacy."
Oh, no, I mostly... Yeah, I guess you could say that. I do. I am a diplomat at heart.
And he rolls out a ball from his hand cannon. It falls on his hand and he puts it back inside of his pack. And says, "No need to waste its power, I suppose."
I'll look at everyone and be like, okay, everyone, follow the path. Try not to stray from it. And let's just move along as quickly as we can.
Thanks, Miss.
Right. Everything goes well. The three vampires stay on the path, though the creatures from the keep, these plants, are the ones that seem to be very eager to pounce, needing from time to time to be assuaded by the keep master herself. Peace is kept, and you are allowed to cross the keep. However, just as you pass by it, its gates bar before you, and thousands of spikes protrude from every pore of the nearby trees. You have passed. It is now night, around perhaps 9 in the evening. You have been walking through most of the day. And you see, a little bit in front of you, a stream. A very cool, moving stream. You feel, as you look in front of you, you see the chaos of the natural jungle The old familiar jungle mist that you were lost in for so much time. And you feel a certain sadness as you recognize that you are outside of the Queen's domain.
I'll just kind of take a deep breath and turn around and look back. Just kind of let my mind clear as I'm both thankful because while in her domain, I was always on edge and worried that any misstep could cause conflict. But I regret leaving as it felt more like home than anywhere else I've been.
The plants even stop shriveling towards in reaction to the three vampires. And in front of you, you find even that there is a certain almost unholiness to the natural forest itself. And even the vampires can sort of feel at home in this strange patch of the jungle.
Wait, there's an unholiness in the forest? Is that what you said?
Not in the Plant Queen's forest, but in the natural jungle.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Martinella shouts, "Ah, finally! We can properly kill something!"
Everyone agreeing on that?
You wanted to hunt, right?
Yeah.
Just so that everyone is aware, I have no problem with any of you killing Yonti. Martinella, Donato, as far as I'm concerned, Yonti, all for you.
Martinella chuckles, sort of laughs with this inner deep evil. This I will not hold back.
Certainly don't do so on my account.
She immediately draws her sword and jumps over the edge of this river that's passing by, and starts cutting through and rampaging on the other side of the trees, away from everyone's sight.
It doesn't necessarily mean you have to cut down everything.
She is going to
Is
cut down
gone
everything.
and not paying attention to you.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Do we go and help her?
We can certainly follow her. Maybe try to prevent her from cutting everything down. And I want to gather as much water as I can with my shape water spell from this
Okay.
from this stream. Just kind
Mm-hmm.
of carry it along with us. Kind of watering anything that seems to have any scars left from Martinella as we go.
Okay. All right. Make a nature check. 17. There is something about this water that is not entirely okay. You feel that there are some almost like some little patches of almost like these little balls that look closer to lint, almost like a greenish black lint than anything else. That it gives you the distinct impression that there is something about it that might be wrong. Perhaps you could consult with Oraba or someone who would know of this sort of things.
Hey, Orba, you want to take a look at this water here? There's something weird about it. And you're kind of our
Yeah?
expert on weird stuff, so.
What is it? What is weird about it?
Well, if you look at it, it has these little balls of blackish green stuff in it, and it's. I don't know how to describe it. It just feels wrong.
I can try to analyze it, but I haven't got a real setup right now.
Okay, you can make a nature check with advantage because you are helping each other in this.
One sec.
You want to roll, or you want me to roll? I'll let you roll.
I have +9 on nature.
Go for it.
Oh,
Oh, crap.
Oh,
that's
wow.
fucking.
Okay. Hey. All right. The dice have spoken. This does not go well.
Apparently.
Okay. So with this, you actually decide to touch the water, and find that these spores start kind of collecting near your hand. And a few moments later, you notice that they have started to almost grow. Something has grown into your hand, almost as if it's starting to cover it like a glove. Whatever it is, you feel that it is kind of hostile to you.
Okay,
This
who's
is
doing the
not good.
Who's doing the touching here? Was it me or him?
It was Oraba.
Okay. I've lost enough hands, damn it.
So what do you do? Do you allow this sort of growth?
I would try to resist if I can.
Okay, all right. How?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like,
Do I sense that this is any kind of disease or poison or anything like that?
It could very well be. You don't know. This just started immediately when he touched it.
Okay,
I should probably either investigate it more or you try a healing spell.
Okay, what exactly do you try then?
Like how fast is it spreading?
It's spreading. It's spreading quite fast. I don't really know exactly how to. Let me see how I can try to describe it well. It is in less than 5 minutes. It will overtake your hand and then start going up into your arm.
5 minutes is a really short time.
Yes.
I will take a belt or something to like put some pressure on there, so maybe it will Like slow it at least.
Okay, all right. What exactly do you put on there?
Like a tourniquet, do you know that?
Okay, all right. It doesn't seem to be actually inside of your blood. It seems to be kind of like covering it, covering your hand like a glove.
Oh. Mist, can you help me here?
How long's it been since we had a long rest? I'm just wondering how much my resources have I forgotten to refill.
I believe you would have had a long rest back at the Dark Mountain, back at the Vampire Keep.
Okay, so we would have had one since the conflict with Donato?
I believe so, yes.
Can I just like try to think of what could help against this kind of infection, or like
Sure, okay,
figure
all right. Make
out?
a nature check.
I'll reach out and touch his shoulder and use lay on hands, which should be able to cure any disease and or poison.
Okay, all right. This is neither poison nor disease.
Um,
Oraba, you can make another nature check to try to investigate this.
all right.
Okay. It definitely seems to be some sort of, with a 26, it definitely seems to be some sort of fungoid in origin, and it seems to be spreading to you quite fast. It could be possible for you to try to burn it away at the expense of maybe burning a bit your hand.
A
But
bit.
it does seem to not exactly cause you pain, but you have started to feel your hand going a bit numb.
Maybe I could try to make like a fungicide or something.
Sure,
Or maybe
yes.
I have
Mhm.
something already that I could use as a fungicide.
Yeah, okay. It's definitely possible. What would you want to use as a fungicide?
Just thinking. I mean, I have some acid. Maybe if I could dilute the acid and then just use that.
Okay, all right. You can make an alchemist tools check then, using either, in this case, it will be dexterity, because you're trying to do this fast. Alchemy supplies with a 28. You are able to make it quite fast. Put it, cover your hand with it, and it does seem like the fungicide has worked. The acid burns away it, and it seems to want to leave, transforming almost into this little drop that coalesces into the water. As it does, you find this strange, like the spores themselves start going together to create this small but clearly visible creature that then flies upwards. It is a very small, very tiny creature, almost the size of how Mook was. And as it is, and as it coalesces, it just starts flying upwards and away from you.
Just shoot it.
All right, I'll shoot it.
Okay, all right. Make an attack
Uh,
against it.
I'm going to use sharpshooter, and I'm going to use my crosshair to give me advantage. Woo!
Okay.
So that's a 25.
All right, yeah, 25, 18 piercing damage, and yes, that pierces this thing, and it just pops out, exploding into this almost rain of little spores. Orba, I will need you to make a dexterity saving throw to get away from this area.
did
Plus
I one shot it?
Yes.
Oh, then I gain life.
+3, Orba.
That's...
Yeah, easy.
Okay,
I
Orba,
just
you
had
are
all
able
my
to
bad luck.
expertly You are able to expertly dash away as these spores just fall back into the river and are washed away.
Ooh, 13 life I gain back now. Nice. Sorry.
It was close.
Your
You're
hand
welcome.
is a bit shriveled, but but as blood starts basically pumping back into it, it kind of it heals in less than an hour. It is fully healed.
Do I still have the sample that I
The what?
mistakenly
Sorry.
touched? The sample that I mistakenly touched?
Yes, you
Okay,
were able to take a sample of it.
I will like investigate it in a proper and safe manner later.
Okay. All right. Okay. But Mist, this feels obvious now that this little like the little spores, these little like balls seem to be almost spores of fungus that are coming from this area. Basically from this area.
Sorry, my map was covered. Can you?
That's all right. Basically these are like fungus that are coming from this area, closer to Gamry's village, and could potentially be spreading their poison all the way down river.
What are you thinking about?
It's some dangerous stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. We should probably take care of that at some point.
How would we take care of it?
Find the source and stop it.
Well, we'll never be as strong as a party right now.
Yeah, we would need. Yeah, do you guys want to do that now? I mean, this is a pretty major threat to everything downriver.
I look at Martinella and Martino and Donato.
I mean, I realize this isn't part of what you guys signed up for, but and I realize you care little for the lesser beings around here. But this is a pretty serious threat to everything downriver. All everything living. We should.
Also, it should be pretty exciting to see where this comes from,
That too.
this power.
I mean, Donato, if nothing else, it might be something interesting to study. Martinella, it's likely to be a fight. More than likely. And I don't really have anything to try to motivate Martino because I'm not really sure why he's with us.
Martinella will say, I suppose a fight is a fight, and I can take a fight, and I wasn't really able to find anything meaningful in that hunt, and she seemed to have some sort of beaver-like creature on her snout, as she is trying to sort of mumble these words.
Man, I keep fighting the urge to reach up and pet her behind the ears. I imagine I would probably lose my other hand if I tried.
Yeah, you probably would.
Then again, she might like it. Maybe she's into the kink. I don't know.
Just try it. Just try it.
Donado says, whatever gives me more souls, I'll take it.
Well, whatever is causing this would actually be reducing your souls. So eliminating it might help in the long run.
He doesn't seem entirely convinced by that logic, but he has been convinced to go with you.
Okay. So we start heading upriver, trying to find the source of this
Okay.
blight. Totally
I'll
getting a
keep my
Horizon
eyes out.
Forbidden West vibe from this, by the way.
Don't worry about it. On the way, I'll try to see if I can notice any living presences. Presences.
Okay. There definitely are. And as you start going upriver during the night, you find that there are a lot of animals that actually come here to try to drink in the water. Some panthers and jaguar type creatures that look upon you. Even some tabaxis that seem to come from the other side, looking upon you with incredible amounts of caution. You feel as if the presence of those 3 undeads that come with you are really evident when it comes to a sort of aura that surrounds your group.
Hmm.
Everything stands just with greater caution when seeking to face you.
Right, so we don't need to worry about them. They won't come close.
As you start going upriver, and wait, have you actually taken a rest during all of this time, or will you be walking also during the entirety of the night?
I only need 4 hours, so I probably would be pressing it.
I would have pushed to keep walking until we got out of the Queen's Forest, and then after that, I'm okay with resting whenever. So if we had the time to rest, then yeah, I imagine we would have taken a long rest to recover, if nothing else.
Okay, all right. So you would have taken a rest perhaps after Oraba's issues, than with that spores.
Makes sense.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Okay, right. You take this long rest, and the vampires don't really need to rest, so they will be mostly up and about doing something. Donato will be working on his still on his arquebus, still finally tuning parts of it and working on new ammunitions for it. Donato will be playing this song that's actually now quite melodic and very welcoming. It ends up being a sort of song of rest that ends up calming you all and helping you sleep, but not in a bad way. Not in a way that should make you suspicious, is what I'm trying to say.
It's soothing, but not sleep-inducing.
Exactly. Something that helps you rest but doesn't compel you to sleep. And then Martinella herself will just be busy sharpening her sword, and even will actually start doing this mix of a whistle and a howl at the moon when it comes up. The sun comes up onto the river, and you find that this same structure of this same line of these sort of fungoid spores poisons the river. But as you go upriver, you also find a lot of other, even humans, as you approach the point of Gamri's village, humans that are gathering water and drinking it. A couple seem to actually be playing in the water, perhaps unaware of the issues with it. But to you, Justin, you find that there are already some patches on their skin, some almost like greenish, purplish patches on their backs that they don't seem to either care for or notice.
Definitely reached here. You can see it on those children over there.
It's pretty concerning.
Are we just going to approach the village, Mist? Walls in there be like, hey, that's when Vampire 1, 2, 3, Zombie 4. I killed the chief's daughter.
Yeah, let's not. Let's try to go around the village at first. I have a feeling going into the village would be a longer interval. I would like to get this issue resolved before we
All right.
confront the chief.
Alright, fine. I'm
Okay,
just a
then.
bit disappointed that it turned out not to be instant deadly.
There can be worse things.
Maybe. Oh, definitely worse things.
They seem to leave more of this sort of permanent mark on people's skins, or perhaps they do still have a sort of fungoid patch on them. But you decide to go around. Martino de Calco will help you by casting upon you all a Pass Without Trace, helping you move from one side of the river to another to avoid basically colliding with Gamri's village. You avoid it, and you are not
Bless you.
seen.
Thanks.
You continue upriver, but don't really find any evidence of a source so far.
Is it still in the river?
It still is in the river, yes, and it is even more concentrated so.
Keep
This
following the
area,
river.
so this area seems to be even more concentrated. But you continue following up the river. It is now around midday, and you have been walking for perhaps 4 or 5 hours. There is a greater concentration, and you find also that there are even more evidences of this sort of fungoid infection now on the fauna and flora that surrounds you. This place, the whole place, seems to be with just more of these sorts of fungus. Even the animals nearby, some tabaxis themselves, again, being very close to being very close to your eyes, like basically being very close to your party, but still far away that they're only observing. All of these scouts looking upon you with incredible suspicion.
Well, that's weird.
I look back at Martinello, Donato, and Martino, and then look at Jess and say, "Is it really?"
I mean, yeah. Last time we encountered a strange fungi, it was a sentient one trying to overtake our minds. Or wonder what that kind of fungus is all about.
Oh, that's not what I thought you meant. I apologize.
What did you think I mean?
I thought you were saying it was weird that the Tabaxi were giving us such, keeping the
Attention?
distance.
No. Once we stepped out of the castle, everyone around us was actually giving us attention. Because even those buzzing was back for some time once we got out of the druid. Well, doesn't matter. Anyway, I don't think they will approach, but all of them seem to be infected as well. And gathering from the village, they don't seem to care, you know? So maybe it already has overtaken their minds, or it does nothing then but to grow on them. Is all I'm saying.
Can I guess, try to get the attention of one of the Tabaxis?
Sure. How?
Oh, should I bring one here?
Well, just kind of shout out and say, "Hello there in the forest. Can we talk?" And I will take probably a walk forward 30 or 40 feet away from the party, trying to bridge the gap between myself or the party and any other living thing that wants to avoid the vampires.
Okay, alright. These tabaxi definitely seem to be a bit weaker. Their reflex is not nearly as sharp. And as one of them tries to jump from one branch to another, he ends up like falling off of the tree. Falling actually quite flat on his face, which is unlike anything that you have actually seen from a tabaxi before. And the tabaxi simply turns toward with clear fear in his eyes. He looks towards you, and you can see that part of his face has been almost not consumed, but definitely marked by these fungoids. Half of his left eye is even partially blind.
Okay, so he's like laying on the ground at the base of a tree.
He's laying on the ground. He has turned towards you, and he is basically sitting.
David,
He is basically sitting, stretching out his hand as if pleading for you not to kill him or something like that.
Okay.
Wait,
David's internet just
Yes.
went down.
One second. I'll give you the yeah, okay. David is back.
I'm back.
Good.
I'm back.
Welcome
All right.
back.
Okay.
Okay. Is he like close to me or?
He is about 30 feet from you.
Okay, I'll slowly approach him with my hands out, palms up. Kind of in a, well, I guess palms out, kind of in a gesture of peace, I guess. I'm not really sure what to call it. And I'll just keep slowly approaching, and when I get close enough, I'll slowly reach down and um, just use lay on hands for 10, I guess.
Okay. It does seem to heal his scar. It does seem to heal his scar, but it also moves away. Part of the fungoid patch seems to try to move into his back, creating this sort of bulge that expands. The tabaxi yells in pain as the bulge then explodes and pops as this flying spore again leaves from its back. It seems to almost try to make some sort of sound at you, but it's very discordant and you can't quite understand it.
And the spore that shot out of it, is it like growing legs and running away, or is it just a cloud?
It's again flying as the other one was that formed out of Oroba.
Oh, I'll shoot it.
Okay.
I'll wait a bit so that they don't get immediately caught in it,
Mm-hmm.
but then I'll aim at it, sharpshooter, shoot at it.
Okay. Mist, make a Constitution
15.
saving throw.
15 and 15 damage.
Okay. With a 19 Constitution saving throw, you feel as if something has partially maybe gotten into you, and you can, for a second, you feel as if you can understand this mushroom thing right before it just pops by a shot from Justin. It says something like, "Why do you pursue us?" But you could swear that it said something like that, and then it is destroyed. Tabaxi stands there, alleviated, but at the same time, both in pain but also alleviated by the fact that it has been clearly cured by you.
After seeing Mist like cough or breathe in the spores, I pull down my mask and activate the filter.
Okay.
So I've been infected? Is that what you're saying?
You are not sure. You feel as if you are fine, but perhaps for just the briefest moment you were able to kind of communicate with the creature.
Oh, do I see something crawling under his skin with my perception?
No. Mist seems to be fine, and the spores themselves seem to be kind of just leaving, kind of naturally dropping out of Mist's body. His whole Genasi nature seems to be almost helping naturally expelling his any sort of infectious spore.
Alright.
You are fine. At least you think you are.
Okay, but the guy on the ground is still hurting?
The guy on the ground is hurting a bit, but at the same time he can see. He turns towards you and kneels, almost prostrating himself before you. He seems to be incredibly grateful that you have granted him something, even though his back is still partially bleeding out of this nasty wound that the spore just burst out of.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and heal him again.
Okay.
And, kind of pull him to his feet and try to talk to him. Do you understand the language that I'm speaking?
Tabaxi stands in fear and he says, "Yes, great healer. I understand. You must come with me to the village. We have many sick there. You can heal us."
Where is this village?
It is over across the other river, and he points this way.
Where is this sickness coming from?
The water, I think the water is poisoned, but it comes from these the plant queen's domain. We do not venture there, but we believe it comes from there. Upriver, follow the river upwards into the big belly, and you will see.
So you're saying the plant queen is responsible for this?
It seems to be coming from her place. This poisons our children, and and fouls the water.
Okay, given what I know of the plant queen and everything, is this something I believe she would do? 'Cause it was my understanding that there was another faction that was fungoid in nature that might be responsible.
This does seem to be like it is highly unlikely that the plant queen would do this. Also because these are fungus and not plants. And you know that the Duchess also spoke to you and was incredibly afraid of the fungus, so this could be the origin of those fungus.
Okay. How far is your village?
Not too far, not too far. Maybe half a day jumping through the trees.
So probably a day for the rest of us. Crap. You're tearing me in two, Mateus. Or 3 or 4. So many different ways to go.
Maybe you want to consult Melora.
Well, I think we need to go take care of these fungoid issue first. But I also don't want to sit there and be like, I promise I'll come see your village on the way back or whatever. Especially since we've got like 4 other things we're supposed to be doing too.
Not my fault. You guys are easily tempted.
I think I'm the one that's easily tempted. Nobody else seems to run into this issue.
I'm just terribly supportive.
Oh, okay. Do you still have... We probably don't... That psychic link is probably gone, right?
By this point, yes.
Make a new one.
Yeah, you can make a new one. That's also true. I mean, we're talking about AFK Klaatu, so yes, you can make a new one.
There's all the space slots are for that and teleportation.
Yeah, but we had a rest as well, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So we should all be full. I will tell the Tabaxi that we need to go find the source of this fungal issue, or this fungus, and take care of that before I start trying to heal anyone. Or they'll just get reinfected.
The Tabaxi will plead. What about the children of my village? You have healed me. Could you not heal them?
Well, but what my friend just said is if we don't get rid of the source, they'll just get infected again. So what good would it do? we need to deal with the source first.
What if I bring the children to you?
But you don't want to listen, right? I'll have my mask on, so I'll try to intimidate him.
Okay, alright, make an intimidation check.
Mask looks terrifying, gives me advantage. 7.
Okay.
I'll try to look down on him, and then the mask just is not on right and reveals half my face, and I have to catch it awkwardly. Damn. Damn.
It still does seem to do the trick.
And how many children
Does-
can you
It
bring?
does seem to do the trick, as he does, and he is filled with this great fear, and he says, we will not, we will not, we will, I shall wait for you, I'll wait for you. For your orders, then.
Is he not going to lead the way? I look at Mist.
Well, he is not going to lead you to the village, because you don't want him to, you don't want to go to the village, right?
I turn to him and I go closer to my head to him and I say, no, lead us to the source. We've been walking down this river, up this river for miles.
The source, of course, yes, yes, we will go this way. And he urges you to go upriver and continue the trip upriver.
Okay, we follow. Or I follow.
At this point, night falls. Martinella, Donato, and Martino do kind of grumble between them, like what exactly is the point? What are they doing here? Like, this seems to be an enormous waste of time. But they are still following you as sort of reluctant or begrudging followers of this party. They move. You move further up the river, taking a rest basically on this spot. I'm guessing that you would, because it is night already and you have been walking for an entire day. Taking a rest on this spot, you notice that part of the creature's animal, part of this area's animals do start to move closer towards the camp in hopes of also being healed, recognizing this holy magic that Mist has caused. These panthers, even some crocodiles in the river, like actual crocodiles, not crocodilians, move up closer to your camp in hopes of being healed from this.
Okay. Can I just look at one of them? Say a random panther
Yeah.
and cast healing word.
Sure.
Does it seem to help?
It does, yes. The panther just seems to leap out and run back into the jungle. Other animals seem to move closer to you. You seem to be clearly the center of attention. Martinella licks her lips in anticipation of a great feast, though. Not really caring that the meat is probably highly infected as well.
Okay, so it didn't help the panther then?
It did help the panther, and the panther is very happy and ran back into the jungle.
Okay. Well, then I'll just start singing, using healing word and Song of Melora. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Mass healing word, I guess is what it's called. Healing, using all my spell slots and healing anything within range.
Okay, all right. With this, then, all of these creatures do start being healed. Even Martino de Calco will be convinced to join you and also cast some healing words and mass healing words and trying to help these poor creatures. Though they do seem to be more afraid of him than anything. Still afraid of him. His aura, though a bit more pleasant, is still very negative, very unholy. But his spells are actually very good spells. Very, in terms of good versus evil, you know, very
Yes.
good, positive spells.
Okay.
However, you do get the feeling that if you keep doing this, you will be asked to keep doing this for forever. All of these creatures want you to help them, and them in specific, in particular.
I understand, but I will use up my spell slots, and once that's done. That's done. I can't
Okay.
do any more. Will um go to rest once my spell slots are empty.
All right.
I'm going to be the lookout as I notice him just exposing himself to danger as he expends all his spell slots.
He has clearly exposed himself to danger, and it is quite quite reckless of him to have done so. But in the end, everything ends up being well because the animals do seem more grateful than anything that this person has come and has healed them of their pains, uh, of all of these sorts of diseases and fungoids that have been infecting them.
How long do you figure does that take?
I would say it takes maybe an hour.
Do I notice some of them being the same ones that come back and have already
No,
been reinfected?
no,
And any more spores flying from them?
not really. Whatever the case of these creatures, it seems that it doesn't seem to be the same type of infection as the ones that infect humanoids.
Right. Maybe the fungi grew different depending on the host that they're on.
It's possible that a sentient creature is affected differently than a non-sentient creature.
Definitely. Why would that not be the case? We have different organs, different sizes of organs. If that fungi specialized on targeting the brain, then a humanoid would offer more nurture.
This tabaxi will wake up earlier and be on the lookout. He will stand next to Justin, equally alert. He will say, "You are the scout for this group?"
No. I
Who
know,
are
but
you?
I just do it. I am the tinkerer of this group.
Tinkerer. What
Yes.
is this?
An inventor.
Inventor.
Look at me, and most of the things you see, I made them. Tailored the
Ah,
suit.
you are the weaver.
Yeah, translated like that. I did some weaving in my days. Had some classes, yeah. I weave
Ah,
too.
good. And then you are the weaver then of this group?
I combine many different craftsmanship.
I see. You craft things. You are the
And I
tool.
see things, and I hear things. I shoot things, I kill things, command things. You know, maybe you limit yourself too much.
This is the way that it has always been in our clans. We have each of us does different things. That is how it has always been.
Oh, that's an efficient way of doing things, yeah. But I guess a big fungus infection wasn't part of the plan.
I do not know what infection this was, but we have been diseased and we are very grateful. He takes a very mighty bow to you. We are very grateful that you have come to help us.
Yeah, but that was not my point. My point was that being a scout didn't help you against the spores.
Did not know what to scout for.
Yeah, you're foolish, man, then in that case. You could have. I saw some of those fungi. I didn't go near them, and I'm still fine. You definitely went near them.
You are wise then. You know this world.
No. Alright, there's actually. Did you hear someone call my name? Yeah. Good job on doing a lookout. Justin walks away from that guy.
He keeps the lookout then. Next morning, you will continue your journeys up the river until you find, right when you reach the edge of it, he points to this great, strangely gnarled tree and says, that is where we think they are coming from. And you see ahead of you in this location, in the map, and you point to go. It seems to be quite protected by this growth that is completely unlike the growths of normal trees. Clearly, whatever this is or whatever this was has been very deeply infected, very, very, very deeply twisted. And you missed sense coming from it this whiff of sort of unholy, necrotic energy. Coming with it, these tiny spores that it seems to almost, perhaps by accident, but perhaps on purpose, feed into the river. There is as well near it a strange, almost hill that perhaps is part of the growth itself of the tree, but it seems to have grown upwards and to create this, perhaps not a hill, but more of a dome.
Should we just burn it down? I look at Mist.
Well, that might be a place to start.
It could also spread and then burn down, like maybe I don't know, half, more, less of the forest.
Good point.
I know you're the water guy. If you can keep it in check, maybe that'll work. But we might have to be thinking about getting swarmed by the enemy once we start that.
Yeah, I'm thinking that once we instigate conflict, it's going to be a little difficult to maintain any fire control measures.
Okay, I look at the Tabaxi guy and say, alright, you can go to the village and wait for our return now. Thank you.
Again, he bows in this incredibly reverent way and he says, "Oh, thank you. Thank you, great scout. Thank you, great basket weaver. I shall go."
Basket weaver. Can't believe it. That is what he took away from that conversation.
And he just as quickly starts to run. And you feel that it's almost more like closer to a sort of panic run away, just being happy to not be you guys and be able to run and flee from this place.
I didn't want him here for the conflict, and I didn't want him to be here for any rewards, alright? I'm sorry.
No problems with me.
Okay, all right. Martinella says, "This better be interesting. If it's not, I'll just sit this one out."
Who of you is able to cast fire magic? I know Donato can cause explosions.
Martino de Calco says, I can cast some fires, but I can cast some fireballs, but we would need to move closer to it. But
Yeah, that's not the
wait,
issue.
something seems to be moving over there. You see how this again this fungoid tree seems to kind of, one of its enormous branches seems to twist upon itself, turning into this direction. And it does seem to be populated by perhaps hundreds of little fungoid creatures that seem to be totally content to just run around and be jumping into this incredibly strange scenario. Whatever they are, they seem to be quite happy.
I think first of all, Martino, you should start to do this concealment thing, and we need to change locations. Because we should definitely, whatever we do it with a surprise. Alright, did you see enough mist? That's the target.
Yes, we definitely need to attack that.
Ooh, 21. Plus 10, right?
Yes, yes. He casts again Pass Without Trace, helping you all cross the water and approach now this great fungoid tree. All right. It is 15 minutes to 10. Should we perhaps wait for next session to settle all of this encounter? Because especially if it involves combat, it's going to take a while.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
But I love the idea of dropping combat on the two of them next time.
Yeah, I mean,
It's time again.
well,
Yeah.
I don't think we have Klaatu for a couple weeks now.
Wait, only next week. If we wait, he said until the 21st or maybe later. So if we say next week the 21st, maybe he has a chance. And then we can still postpone to the 25th.
Okay. Sure, so we can try then next Thursday, the 21st? Was that the plan?
Yeah. But since it's the start of my holidays, I think I might offer to play Thanos again on the 18th as well.
On the 18th, okay.
Yeah, I
All
read
right.
it in
Well,
chat, and
see,
then
I
people
don't
can
know
say as well.
exactly. I don't know exactly my schedule for early next week, so Monday and Tuesday. But yeah, sure. I'll give you all a message then.
I'm
If
going
I
to
can.
invite. I'm going to invite many people. I think it's going to be a fun session, but let's see.
Oh, that's
Okay.
nice.
Right.
Let's see. It's the start of my holidays, but it's not everyone's holidays. I also agree on that.
I thought he said he was gone.
Look, it's somewhere in the chat.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go.
It's
Yeah.
somewhere. In that. Okay. All right.
And
Bye-bye.
get better
See you
soon.
guys next week then.
Yeah, thanks. See
Bye.
you.
Bye. All right, let's have a look at the chat. Can you write that we're set the Thursday in the Discord chat?
Thursday,
Yeah.
21st.
I'm on vacation till 22nd, 23rd maybe. I will keep you updated. That's what he said. So the 21st is still not enough for him. But let's stick to it. Maybe Ryza can.